Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. It's an episode here on Custom Carbos, and in this episode we're going to be jumping back onto the superstang. To start off, we're going to go ahead and do some more body work and some paint, and we're going to just jump all around. Let's just jump right in and see how much we can get done today. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and jump onto this side. It's got the most work to need to be done, so let's go ahead and just jump right into time-lapse mode and get as much done as we possibly can. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and take some 400 grit to these parts right here. I've had these primers for a long time, so we'll have to re-primer them and then paint them. But real quick, we're going to get some 400 grit sandpaper and just go over it real quick with some wet sanding. Alright guys, so as you can see right here, this lighter or darker black right here, we're going to actually tape it off that area again, and we're going to paint it with a flat black because it's too glossy and the bottom's more flat. So we're going to go ahead and try to match those up. Alright guys, so this is looking good, so let's go ahead and move on to the front. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and start off by moving over to the garage and putting in some mesh inserts right here, making them ourselves of course, and then we might make the mesh right here for the big one right now in this episode too. And then we're going to go ahead and mount this, finish body working it and painting it, as well as the other splitter like that thing right there. So let's go ahead and get it done. Alright guys, so to start off, we're going to go ahead and jump onto these two vents right here and basically just cut some metal. I just got some diamond mesh that we're going to go ahead and set in there. They're from like an old wagon, and I just cut them off and they'll work perfectly. So let's go ahead, set them in there, and we'll weld them on and we'll get them done. Alright guys, so we went ahead and painted these two front grill pieces black, as well as that red hook thing, like a tow hook. It's kind of just a fake thing, but basically it just sits there. We went ahead and painted that red as well, so it kind of matches with the other side. Now let's go ahead and wait for these to dry, and then we'll move on. Alright guys, so over here while we're waiting for those grills to dry, we're going to jump onto this front fender, and there's a crack right there, and we're going to drill a hole on each end of it so it doesn't spread any further, and hopefully we're going to go ahead and fiberglass over it, do a nice thick patch, and hopefully it won't crack off. First we got to scuff up the surface with some 60 grit, so let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll jump right in and get her done. Alright guys, we went ahead and now these mesh things are all dried up, so let's go ahead and mount them in. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and on this spot we fiberglassed yesterday, we're going to take some 60 grit sandpaper and just sand it on up. Alright guys, so while we're waiting for that to dry, we're going to move on over here to the side, and we're going to get as much done as we possibly can. We're just going to take some 400 grit sandpaper on a block and wet sand this whole door and get it all smooth. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and do some body work, and basically just using some Bondo, some hardener, going to mix up a batch right there. If you need to learn how to do some Bondo, check out the link up here. We're going to do some Bondo there and some other spots on the fenders and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and mix it on up and apply it. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and take the belt sander and sand it all flat. Alright, so we also went ahead and put some body filler on to the patch that we did right here. And now we're going to go ahead and take the sander and sand that up as well. Alright guys, so I forgot to film an outro, but that'll be a wrap for today's video. See you guys in the next one.